Hey y'all, welcome to Fixin' to Garden. This is the April edition of In Full Bloom, where I show y'all everything that is blooming or leafing out, causing color in our Georgia 8B garden. So come on and let me show y'all what we have going right now. Y'all, there's just nothing as pretty as the first flush of roses. And this is the At Last Rose by Proven Winner. Y'all, we've had these roses for, I think this is their 4th year, and this is the most impressive that I think that I've ever seen them. I actually smelled some fragrance coming from them earlier this week, which again, I've never really experienced, and I've really battled on whether or not to keep these. But y'all, this vision right here and this combination of the purple and the peach, y'all, it just does something at making the garden feel so lush and that cottage style that I'm really going for. So here we have in front of it is this Superbena Cobalt. Y'all, this wintered over for us and it is just exploding. And I feel like it's already kind of starting to diminish some of its color as it's been going now for about three or 4 weeks. And I know that it'll just get ready and charge up and do another flush really soon. But as I look down the way, excuse my dog, it just is exactly what I wanted it to look like in this area. And I just love it. This one right here, I mean, goodness, y'all look at that. I mean, there's just flowers absolutely everywhere. So beautiful. All right, the next thing we have blooming is we have our Augusta Lavender Heliotrope. Again, this flower has been very floriferous and it just gives you all that you want in your garden. It has reseeded some, and the squirrels have gotten hold of a part of the plant, and so we're gonna have to do a little bit of tidying up in this area. I'm hoping that it'll fill in all right here, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem, and hopefully that'll look really nice. In the back there we have some white Gaura, which gives really nice movement, and it's a contrast to our Autumn Joy Sedum that's in front of it. That's a really tight, large leaf habit. And the showstopper this month has got to be this Shasta Viburnum. Again, it was one of those things that this is what I wanted it to be, and every year it just hasn't really performed, and this year it finally did. So I'm so glad that I waited and didn't pull it up before it had a chance to show me what it can really do. So what's really great about these Shasta Viburnums is the growing habit is very horizontal. So you see it's like layers and layers of limbs. And I actually, at the beginning of this spring, came in here and did a pretty good pruning job on it. I was scared to do so because I could tell that it had a lot of buds on it because it does bloom on old wood. But there were so many branches that were crossing and rubbing on each other that I felt it was better for the health of the plant to go ahead and get those taken care of instead of leaving them for another season, because honestly the next spring I would be dealing with the same situation that I was this year, where I would feel like I couldn't cut it back because I was afraid to, you know, disrupt the blooms. And so it would be nice if I could prune it after it gets done blooming, which is really the way you handle most old wood growth for blooming. But I can't really see down in there because it's so thick of a leaf canopy. So really the time in winter when because it is a deciduous bloom, a deciduous shrub, I can see much better when there aren't any leaves on it. But the disadvantage is that I had to sacrifice some blooms for that. But y'all, all the way up to the tippy top, it has blooms all over it, and of course it's covered in pollinators. I just love this plant. It very much looks like a lace cap hydrangea, but it's not. So if you are wondering if you have something blooming right now, it is most likely not a hydrangea, because it's a little early for hydrangeas. It's most likely a viburnum, and you can tell that because it's got these really kind of rigid leaves. So you have this one, the Shasta Viburnum, or double foul viburnum, and there's a lot of different double foul viburnums. Or you have maybe the popcorn or snowball Chinese viburnum that has the other bloom that kind of looks like a hydrangea that has more of a mop head look to it. So it's kind of neat. Within the viburnum family, you have both something that resembles a hydrangea, both as a lace cap or as a mop head. All right, we have some more Gaura. We have our little dog that we planted up. It's doing great. And now let's talk real quick about this. This is Encore Azalea. I think it's Autumn Angel, if I remember correctly. It's a white blooming azalea. And y'all, I'm not really sure what to do about this. So again, it's one of those things, am I gonna be patient? And does it just need some more time to grow? We put this in the garden a couple of years ago as I think it was a 2-gallon plant. It was a decent size, not huge, but it was substantial enough. And I don't know, every year it only put off maybe a dozen blooms. I know one of the problems that we have is that we have bunnies, and in the springtime they come and chew on these azaleas, which is, you know, a problem because azalea is also these spring bloomers that bloom on old wood. And so I know that that's some of the issue that we have at hand, and I don't know if there's anything really we can do about that outside of putting a cage around the azaleas, but I don't really want to have to do that. So I'm trying to decide, do I keep these? Do I take them up and put something there that maybe I would love a little bit more? Y'all tell me, how do y'all do with y'all's azaleas? Are y'all really a big fan of them, or do y'all struggle with them as well? All right, so next to it, this is Perfect Profusion Salvia. We put this in last year. Y'all, it's doing really nicely. The only thing that I have this Perfect Profusion, and I have Pink Profusion. Both of them are doing really well this year. I do think, I don't know if y'all watched our drip video where we reinstalled our drip. I think we were watering too much last year, and that was a lot of the problem that we were having with our plants, as they were struggling, as they were being loved a little bit too much. And so we pulled out a lot of our drip and redid it, and hopefully that'll be really good. But now we're in an extreme drought, so I'm trying to find that balance between too much and not enough. I think that's just something we all kind of deal with when we are have a beginning garden. It needs more water as it gets established, but you have to be careful because that line between enough and too much is very thin. All right, this is our Ascot Rainbow Euphorbia. It's doing really great still. Y'all, I don't know why I waited so long to get this plant. It truly is probably the most no-fuss plant that we have in our garden. All right, in the back there we have a Golden Falls Weeping Redbud. Its blooms really are just not that impressive, but the color is really great. Last year, it kind of reverted back to more of a green because I think we have it in too much shade, so I'll be sure to show it to y'all right now, and it's the color that it's supposed to be, and we'll see what it does this year. All right, our Scentlandia Sweet Spire is getting ready to bloom. And y'all have heard me talk about my love-hate relationship with this plant as it sends out tons of suckers trying to colonize. It's our Spearmint Heuchera, Dolce Spearmint. And y'all, since last month when I showed y'all our Glow Blue Spruce, look how much more growth and color it has on it. I wish it stayed to that bright icy blue color all the time. And beside it there we have our Winecraft Black Smoke Bush. And so on this side of our path, it's kind of a repeat of some things. We have the Spearmint Heuchera. And our delphiniums are starting to go out of bloom. We've only had these for a few weeks. I'm not really sure how long they're supposed to bloom. Do they re-bloom or is this it? This is my first time growing delphinium. But y'all, it was such a pretty combination of the delphinium blue with the fuchsia color that is on. These are, we've got 3 encore azaleas. I'm trying to think of the name of them and I can't right now. It may be autumn lilac, but I'm not really sure. I'll have to look that up and I'll put it on the screen below. It's our second Scentlandia, also getting ready to bloom. Have a little Cobalt, Superbena Cobalt I had left over last year. Put those in, an extra one, so I just filled up the space with it. In the back there we have a windy blue spruce. It's supposed to get 10 feet in 10 years, so we'll see. But hey, it doesn't seem to be struggling too much in our 8B garden. Y'all, this is the Midnight Oil Bee Balm. It's got pollinators on it. You can see that it's been blooming for a little bit. These are probably ready to deadhead. I'm gonna come out here and do that. But it's this really pretty, very, very light lilac color bloom. And the pollinators love it. All right, this is the Sky Dew Gold Blueberry Bush from Proven Winners. Yeah, we moved these, I have 2 of them. We moved into a more sunny location and they really love it. Now it's just time for them to put on some growth because they are very slow here. They have some blooms on them. And then they're gonna be that chartreuse color, kind of like the Golden Falls Redbud. And I like to kind of pop that in here and there. There's a little bit over here. This is the drops of Jupiter oregano. Oh, and I skipped over. This is our Firefly Japanese maple that we got from Mr. Maple. Y'all, it is so pretty. The chartreuse green leaves with the reticulation. This camera doesn't do close up very well. And then the edges have kind of a pinky burgundy on them. I think there's some random red there still. Very, very beautiful. Love this tree. All right, so here is our pink Profusion Salvia. Again, it's kind of more spent. It gets more sun in this area than the perfect Profusion on the other side. But so very pretty. And right above it, we have a Julia Child Rose Standard, covered in blooms. Very pretty. Nice, creamy, buttery yellow blooms. So not too, you know, where it leaves you kind of jarred feeling because it's blinding you with its goldness. It's not like that. It's just a soft, again, that cottage feel, especially coming from a rose. All right, this is Cat's Pajama Nepeta. And back behind it, we have the Onyx and Pearls Penstemon. Y'all, it did not bloom last year, but it looks like it's so close. And that's the thing with this time of year, is like everything's changing so much that I could probably do the same video walkthrough, this garden walkthrough, probably every week or two, and I may do that. This is my favorite view, and I don't know if I can get it on camera, but from our porch, the way the layering is, it's like the really pretty light blue, light purple of the Cat's Pajamas, and then right behind it, you don't see the layer of echinacea behind it, it kind of just goes back. Your eye goes light purple with a dark foliage background, and y'all, I really love it. I love this onyx and pearls and blackbeard penstemon because the dark part of it is more purple than red to my eyes, and I really like that. Because a lot of things when you start getting in those darker tones lean more red. All right, so back there in the back we have blue bubbly Baptisia. I'm gonna show y'all over here because it's in the sun a little bit more to accent the colors, and again, it's just starting to bloom. And one thing that I wish from this Baptisia, and I know they've put out a lot more varieties since we have planted these, is that I wish that they stayed in bloom a little bit longer. But like I said, I think some of the newer varieties stay in bloom longer. What's crazy is this plant, like you couldn't even see it, 3 weeks ago, and it just shoots up and puts on its blooms so quickly. All right, we have some pink Gaura over here. And so I don't know if y'all can tell, like this is what I was talking about. It's darker, but it's more red than purple in the dark areas. And here's our other Sky Dew Gold blueberry. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's a very tiny. It's had some of its limbs broken off, and of course this one grows on old wood. So when that happened, we just are gonna miss out on that, but hopefully this summer it'll put on some good growth and look a little bit more substantial. We did move this one last, so it's been in this location the least amount of time. All right, and here we have just some dark sedum. Yeah, I love some of these plants, like Gaura, sedums, salvias. They're just such a low yarrow. They're a low fuss plant, and they can handle our heat. So that's really great. There are strawberries. I was picking some off, but not before the squirrels got to them, so I'm gonna have to net these soon if I want to enjoy them myself and not left to the birds and squirrels of our yard. I wanted to give y'all an update. Last month I talked about the Funella clematis that we planted, and I wasn't sure if it was going to come back. And y'all, it all of a sudden emerged and took off. So it's here in the front. This one along the side here, that is last year's vine. We pulled it up. I thought we got it all, but hey, some of it survived. These do grow differently though, so I'm kind of nervous about how to work that. The Funella, from what I've read, it grows on old wood, and so you're not really supposed to prune it at all. But the one on the right, I got at a big box store, and I've been treating it like a type, I think it's at the type 3, and I cut it down to the ground every year. So I'm not sure with them intermingling how well they'll do together. I'll have to show y'all what we end up doing. Our phlox is getting ready to burst open. It's got a couple of blooms that have appeared. But y'all, when it appears, it's going to be the prettiest shade of pink. And this is opening act blush. And it's the same thing with this unplugged white salvia. It's so close to getting ready to open up. The Kaleidoscope Abelia is putting all of its new growth on right now. It's got the orange tinge on the edges that will kind of convert over to more of a chartreuse color leaf. And of course, our Japanese maple here, I think this Crimson Queen, but we did not put this one in. I had told the landscaper that I wanted a weeping Japanese maple for the corner of the porch, and they put one in, and like Like I said, I wasn't really gardening then, so I didn't know to ask what variety that was, if they would have even known. But y'all, this thing is so huge. So this would be probably year 8 or 9. And I do prune it every year. Y'all, look at these urns. Y'all planted these with me earlier this season, and the pink tiara is just taken off. Let me tell y'all something that about, if you don't know, when you buy plants, you know, the root system is really what you're paying for. So sometimes people don't want to get the bigger size because it's expensive, and you know, you do what you can. But if you buy a bigger root ball, you're gonna get something more impressive faster. I love that our local garden center carries these gallon Supertunias, but it's a limited amount, and it's usually a new to the market Supertunia that they offer. And so I'm glad that we picked those up, and I'm actually glad that my husband talked me into the pink. I even told him when we were putting in the urn, I said, I kind of regret not getting the blue because the blue would have matched the Cobalt more. But y'all, this pink is just so striking. It's just beautiful. So I think that regret has gone away. I know that this plant though is probably going to just absolutely engulf this area. I can't wait for y'all to get to see along with me how it progresses. And here's a check-in with the other one that we have. This one gets a little bit more shade than the first one I just showed you, but looking equally as magnificent. And the Euphorbia is doing really great as well. And this is the that Stardust one, and it's a much more, I like it. It's very compact, so maybe it's more closely to the Diamond Mountain than this Diamond Frost that has a lot more of an open wispy habit. We'll keep y'all up to date on that. And the Prince Tut grass is looking great as well. So I don't always give y'all updates on the green stalk, but I did want to share with y'all this Nemesia that I got an early spring and put in here is still flowering. Looking very pretty. Again, this is the first year I've done Nemesia, so I'm not really sure how long it's going to bloom and how it's going to do in our area. I do know that it loves cooler weather, so I'll be interested to see. This week we're supposed to hit 90. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm not ready for that kind of weather, but it's gonna be what it is, right? But I'm interested to see when it gets that warm, do they kind of peter out and wait until it's cooler to bloom again? I do have a umbrella that I set up to kind of help provide a little bit of shade in this area if I need it. And y'all, this is Dolores, I think is the name of it. Let's see the tag on it. It's a type of chive. Yeah, and it's a perennial, so it has these really pretty blooms on it, which is one of the reasons why I grew it. I have another set of chives that I use to actually eat off of. We have some basil down here that blooms really pretty. It's called a cinnamon basil. That's the chives that we eat off of. So anyways, I just wanted to show y'all really the Nemesia. I skipped over in the back here. I have a pot that I was actually supposed to put in the Rocapoco Wisteria Impatient that y'all saw me pot up. But again, when I saw that Nemesia out in early spring, I got it and I put it in the pot back here instead. So I'm kind of hoping it'll stay in bloom to be worth it. Because as y'all saw, the Impatient ended up getting on the back porch, which is fine as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm hoping, it's looking kind of sad back here. The squirrels, y'all, they are just, I guess it's because of the low water, they're just digging and into everything All right, y'all, that's all I have for y'all this April of In Full Bloom. I hope y'all enjoyed this garden tour. And if you have any questions, please send them down in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. What is your favorite bloom that I had this year? And what do you have blooming in your garden? And we'll see y'all real soon.